What is going on, guys? It's Modded here. Welcome back to another PS4 tutorial. So people on 5.05 are in a bit of a dilemma right now. Do they decide to update to 6.72 so they can play newer games, but also have to deal with an unstable jailbreak that's going to crash a lot of the time? Or do they stay on 5.05 where they have a nice stable jailbreak that doesn't crash all the time, but not have access to those newer games? Well, what if there's a solution to give you the best of both worlds, so that if you're on a 5.05 PS4, you can stay on 5.05 and enjoy your stable jailbreak while still having access to those newer games? And that is what backporting games is all about, and that's what I'm going to be showing you in this video, how to backport games to run on 5.05. Basically, when a game gets dumped on 6.72 and turned into a fake package file so that you can run it on your 6.72 jailbroken PS4, if you try and install that game on a 5.05 PS4 and use like the homebrew enabler on 5.05 to run the game, then this is what will happen. So here's Resident Evil 2. When you try and run it, you just get this error message, cannot start the application. So what I'm going to show you is how you can take that fake package file that's not running on your 5.05 PS4 because it was designed for 6.72 and backport it down to 5.05 so it will run on your 5.05 PS4. That's what this video is all about. So, and just to show you here, as you can see on this particular PS4, I am still indeed on firmware version 5.05. So anyway, let's get into this. So there is quite a lot of steps to this, and I'm sure there's going to be some kind of tool that will do this all for you at some stage, probably fairly soon. There is one called like PS4 Ripped tool or something like that, where they've just added backporting support, but it doesn't really work properly right now in version 1.6. But I'm sure when it's updated to 1.7, it'll probably do a lot of this stuff for you. I might make another tutorial once this is easier, once we have a program that basically does all of this stuff for you. But right now, you pretty much have to do a lot of stuff manually, and therefore there's quite a lot of steps to this. But if you follow it all correctly, you should be able to backport your games to run on 5.05. So the first thing you need to do is download everything that you're going to need. So you're going to need the fake package tools, the latest version 1.5.1 or newer. You need to go ahead and download that. Again, links for everything you need will be in the description. We're also going to need the backporting instructions. So you can see PS4 RipKit mod tool, which has support for these scripts. But again, I don't think it's worthwhile using the RipKit tool until they've updated it to 1.7, where it has better support for it, because it doesn't really work properly right now. So we're just going to use the scripts manually. So to download the scripts, when you click these download buttons, it doesn't actually download them. It just takes you to the code, and you have to basically copy the code into like a notepad document and save it as a Python script. But to save you the hassle of doing that, I'll put a download link to the actual script files in the description. So just go ahead and download them from the link in the description. Okay, so now we've done that, we should have the two Python scripts here on our desktop, as we do right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and just put those in a folder. So I'm just going to put them in a folder called scripts. So I'm just going to copy them and paste them in here. The next thing you're going to need is you're going to need Python itself. So go ahead and download Python, go to Python, downloads, and then scroll down until you find Python version 2.7, the latest version of 2.7. Just click download. It will take you to all the different installers. You just want to select the Windows x86-64 installer, or just the x86 installer if you just have a 32-bit computer, but who still has a 32-bit computer these days? So anyway, you go ahead and download the installer. It's just a regular setup installer, so just go through and install Python once you've downloaded the installer. Once you've done that, we're also going to need a module for Python called hexdump. So you can install this in the command line once you have Python installed by typing in pip install hexdump, although for some reason that doesn't work for me. So what you can do is, if you head into the download files section, you can just go ahead and download it as a zip file. So if the install command isn't working, download it as a zip file, and then we're going to open that zip file and copy all of these files into the scripts folder with our scripts that we copied in there. And then that is all set up and prepared. The last thing we need is unf self, or unf self, and you can get that from, again, it's a post on PSX hacks right here. There's 3 downloads for it, so you should be able to. In fact, I think these 2 downloads are not available, but this one at the end here is. So just download that one. and you are good to go. So that's the setup. That's all the things you need to download. So now that we've done that, we can go ahead and start with actually getting this all set up. So in order to backport the game, you're going to need a package file for the game, a fake package file that was dumped on 6.72, but it's a game that requires higher than 5.05 to run. And then we're going to go ahead and open the fake package tools. So the fake package tools comes in a zip file. Just extract it to a folder like this, and you'll have all the fake package tools. So we're going to run the orbispubcheck.exe, which will allow us to extract our package file. So we're going to drag the package file in here into the content ID section, the image list section, or you can click add image and browse for it manually. Then we're going to basically select the package file, click extract files, enter all zeros as the passcode, and then click extract. And that should open up with all the files that are in here. If it doesn't open, then that means the passcode is different, and you'll probably have to get a different package file, because if you don't know what the passcode was, then you won't be able to extract the files. Normally, most fake package files just use all zeros as the passcode, so you just enter all zeros and hope that it works. And then we're going to select all files and directories, and then I'm going to select this extracted folder on my computer here to basically extract all the files into. So I'm going to go ahead and select that as my folder that I want to extract to. Click start, and it will start extracting the entire contents of the package file into that folder. Okay, so that'll take a while, but once it's done, you'll have your extracted files. So you'll have the image0 folder. If you go in there, you have all your extracted files. So the first file we need to patch is the eboot.bin. So what we're going to do is we're going to run this unf self, which will basically decrypt the eboot.bin. So in order to run that, we're going to basically open up a command prompt in the location of this file. And then, in fact, you know what? I'm just going to put this inside the scripts folder as well, just to keep it neat. And then inside the scripts folder, I'm going to click up here in the paths, and I'm going to type in cmd space before the path name, and then hit enter. And that will just open command prompt in that directory. So then we're going to run the file right here. So we're going to run unfself.exe space. So then we need to feed it the file, the eboot.bin file. So if you hold down shift on your keyboard, right click on the file, you'll get the copy as path option. Click that and then paste it in, and that will paste in the path to the eboot.bin file in double quotes, and then just hit enter. That will go ahead and decrypt and extract the whole thing. So there we go, we're done. So now you should have the eboot.bin-decrypted file. So you can now get rid of the original eboot.bin. We don't need it anymore. We're going to be using the decrypted version from now on. So I'm going to rename the decrypted version back to eboot.bin. So the decrypted version is now eboot.bin. So next we need to run the first script, the downgrade.elf script on the eboot.bin, which will basically make it compatible with 5.05. So in order to do that, again, we're going to run the command prompt in the folder with where the script is. So the next thing you're going to want to do is enter the following command. So this command right here, it will be linked in the description, downgrade_elf.py-sdk-version 05.050.001, and then --verbose old.elf new.elf. And we're going to replace the old.elf and new.elf with our eboot.bin. So I'm actually going to rename eboot.bin again, because I shouldn't have renamed it in the first place. I'm going to call it eboot_old, so we know that's the old eboot. So we're going to right click. So we're going to right click on the old eboot.bin. Again, we're going to hold down shift when we right click, so we have the copy as path option. Select that option and then paste it in here, and then hit space and then paste it in again, but change the name of the second one right here. So the second one is going to be just eboot.bin. So this is the command you want. So after verbose, you're going to paste in the location of the old eboot.bin, and then the location of the new output eboot.bin. And then we're just going to go ahead and hit enter. And that is going to go ahead and replace all the instances of the SDK version with the 5.05 SDK version, and fix the header and a bunch of other stuff. So it'll do that all for you. That's it done right there. And we now have our outputted eboot.bin, which is the downgraded one that we have here. So now we can delete the old eboot.bin because we've got the downgraded one. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing with the sc0 the param.sfo file in sc0. So we're going to do the same exact thing with the other script, the downgrade sfo. So we're going to paste this one in. So again, this command will also be in the description. So you just paste it into your command prompt in the folder where the scripts are. And then we're going to replace the old and new.sfo with our param.sfo. So I'm going to rename the param.sfo to param_old. And then again, right click with shift and copy as path, paste it in, and then space, and then paste in the new file, which is just going to be called param.sfo. So we're going to hit enter, and that's going to do its thing, same thing. So now we have the param.sfo. So that's those two things done. So the next thing we need to do is patch the system modules. So you've got sce_module inside the image0 folder. So this is the next thing. So all the files in here, now I'm lucky with Resident Evil 2 Remake only has 2 files in here, two PRX files, but other games can have a lot more. So it's going to be a bit of a headache to do them all. Again, this is why an automated script to do this would be nice, but there isn't an automated script available yet, but I'm sure there will be at some point. Again, the PS4 RIP tool will probably have an update as soon as this video goes live, and I'll have to re-record an easier version of this tutorial once that thing is all automated and does everything for you. But right now we have to do a lot of stuff manually, so the next thing we have to do is patch these PRX files with the correct 5.05 version number, and to do that we are going to need a hex editor. So I'm going to use HXD, which is my personal favorite trusty hex editor right here. So I'll put a link to this in the description. I'm going to drag the first PRX file inside. So in order to do this, we're going to go back into the PS4 backporting instructions. And once again, we're going to scroll down until we find this string right here, which again, I'll probably just put in the description. So this sequence of bytes, you're going to copy this sequence of bytes, which will be in the description. And you're going to search for that in the hex editor. So you're going to control find, go for hex values, paste this in right here, and then click OK. And if it finds something, as you can see, it found the string here, not string, sequence of bytes. It found the sequence of bytes here. So essentially, if it finds it, then great. All you're going to want to do is change the, as it says here, you're going to change it to 01000505. So you're going to change these 4 bytes right here. So after this string, you've got 4 bytes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to replace all 4 of these with the following bytes. You're going to replace them with 01, 00, 05, 05, which is 5.05 basically. So you're going to replace it with that. Make sure you never backspace or delete when you're using a hex editor. If you've never used a hex editor before, you never backspace, because when you backspace, you change the structure of the file and where all the addresses are, and it screws up and corrupts the file. So if you're somebody who, whenever you use a hex editor, you always seem to corrupt the file, it's probably because you're using backspaces and deletes, and you should not be doing that. You should only overwrite data that already exists in a file rather than trying to, insert new data. So you're just overwriting data that's already there, not injecting new data or removing data, which basically changes the whole structure of the file. So just be aware of that if it's the first time you used a hex editor. So then we're going to scroll down to the bottom of the file, and you've got the file path right here. And at the end of the file path right here, so it says .sprx, and at the end of right at the end of the actual thing right here, you can see it's got 05, 50, 80, 21, which is 5.50. Obviously, you'll have a different number if it's a different game. So in my case, that again needs to be changed to 05050001. And it's the same if you have multiple paths as well. So some of these PRX files will have multiple paths. So you've got one path here. This one only has one. But if you have multiple paths, like 2 or 3, then you'll have multiple of these numbers at the end of the path that you have to change to 05050001. And then you're going to go ahead and save. I know this is complicated, guys, but I wanted to get this video out. You've all been asking me to do a backporting video, and right now there's just not an automated script that does all of this stuff for you yet. That PS4 RIP tool is getting close, but it still needs like another version to come out before it's actually, actually usable properly. So you know, I will do an updated tutorial on this once it's easier. But this is just how it is right now. So, okay, so once you've done that, you can go ahead and do it with all the other PRX files that you have. So same process right here with this one. So I'll drag this one in. Again, I'm going to search for that same sequence of bytes. So again, I'm going to search for that same sequence of bytes, and it finds it right here. I'm going to again change the 4 bytes after it to 01000505, and then I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to the bottom, and there's only one path right here, and there it is again, 05508021, and I'm going to change that to 05050001 and save. So this sequence of bytes here, just to be clear, it's backwards. It's 01000505, whereas at the very end, it's the other way around. It's 05050001. So yeah, there we go. So we've got that done as well. So you'll be happy to hear that we're basically done at this point. Everything is done. We should be able to run this game on 5.05 again. We just need to recompile it back into a package file. So to do that, what we're going to do first of all is we're going to head back to the SC0 folder, and we're going to copy everything in SC0 inside the image0 SCE system folder. So copy and paste everything that was in SC0 into SCE system, and just overwrite if it asks you to overwrite anything, and you are good to go. So next, we're going to build the package file. To do that, we're going to go back into the fake package tools, and we're going to run the gen-gp4, go in that folder and run gen-gp4, and then we're going to grab our image0 folder, copy the path to the image0 folder and paste it in here, click generate gp4, and that will generate the gp4 file. Then once that's done, save the gp4 file, and we'll just save it into the same directory, and then close out of gen-gp4, so you now have the gp4 file. And finally, we're going to go into back into the fake package tools, and we're going to run orbis pubgen.exe, and that'll open this up. Then we're going to go to File, Open, and we're going to select our GP4 file and click Open. And then we're going to click Build, and then select an output directory. So I'm going to select the extracted folder, and then click Build. Now you will get this error about the format of the elf file not being valid and that it's already stripped, but that should be fine. It should still work. Just wait. It may look like it's frozen on this, but this is just a warning. It's not an error, so it's not failed. It will create the image. It just might take a while. So yeah, that's it. It's now building the package file right there. All right, there we go. So the image has now been created. We now have our package file that should hopefully work on 5.05. So what we're going to do is try and install that right now. I'm going to go ahead and use the remote package installer. If we head back onto our PS4 right now. Okay, so here's the old version that didn't work. As you can see, you run it and it says, nope, not going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that one, get rid of it, and install this new backported version that we just did. So let's send package file, and boom, there we go. Added to the downloads. So one of the other things you can do, just if you want to kind of double check to see if you've most likely backported it correctly, if you open Orbis Pub check again and load the new package file inside, it should say that the SDK version is 05.05 instead of whatever it was before. Like if I take the old package file, which is right here, and I copy that one in, so you can see the old one, it says it's 5.50, but the new backported one says 5.05. So, you know, that gives you not necessarily a perfect indication that it's going to work, but I mean, at least that way you know that, you know, you've done most of the things correctly at least. All right, there we go. It is ready to use. So let's give it a try. Resident Evil 2 Remake, backported. And as you can see, it is working. Okay, well, it cut out my recording because for some reason it likes to do this. But as you can see, it is running. Okay, finally, there we go. Let's start a campaign just to show that it's all running. But I mean, you can tell here that it is indeed running. Yes, okay. Return to game. There we go. So as you can see, the game is running and we are still on 5.05. If I go down to system information, we are on 5.05, not 6.72, but we're able to run this 6.72 dumped game on our 5.05 PS4. How about that? So yeah, you get the best of both worlds. You can enjoy the new games while staying on the old stable exploit until a stable version of 6.72 comes out, and then you can go ahead and update once that's available. So like I say, this was kind of complicated. I can see how long this video is. I really hope I can edit it down so it's not actually 37 minutes, which is what my current recording time is at. So, you know, I'm sure very shortly, maybe even by the time this video is up, unfortunately, it's just how long it takes to upload these videos. But what might happen, or what will happen, is there'll be some kind of tool or script like that PS4 ripped tool when it gets a 1.7 version or 1.8 version that will probably do all of this stuff that we just did manually for us. It'll probably just do the whole process. It'll automate the whole thing. And then I'll probably do an updated video because it'll be a much shorter video once a tool like that's available. So anyway, so stay tuned for that if this was too complicated, because I'll probably have a new video on how to do it soon that'll be much easier. But in the meantime, this is how you do it. So hope you guys enjoyed the video or found the information useful. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. And I'm talking really, really fast, and I'll see you guys in the next video.